Welcome to What's Your Story? I'm your host, Sharita Williams, and today I am excited. One of our original broadcasters is coming back to season 7. She and I started out in season 1. She is a great motivational speaker. She's a life coach. She's now a grandmother. So the times have gone on and on and on. We are so excited to have her back to WYTV7. We're excited. Please help me welcome back to WYTV7, Marie Groves. Marie, how are you?
Well, hello. I'm excited to be back here with you.
We're glad to have you back. So tell us what has been going on in this last 7 years.
Wow. Okay. I don't think we have about 3 weeks to talk nonstop, but a lot has been going on in my life over the past 7 years. Obviously, I have raised my 2 kids that I adopted from overseas. They are now both 21, and it's been a busy, full life, and a lot of challenges have taken place in 7 years. But let me tell you, so have a lot of blessings. It has been awesome.
Well, that sounds great.
It depends on what you want to focus on, the challenges or the blessings.
Absolutely. And I love it. And that's what I love about your positive spirit. So share with our audience, even though you told just a little bit about yourself, but just give a little bit of background, about you being a life coach. And most of all, tell us how you stay so positive every day. What is your focus? What's your secret?
All right, I'm going to tell you my secret sauce. So let's see. There's my life has been a continuous journey, like all of ours are. I had gone through a divorce. I was married for 18 years. So I became a single mom, raising my kids, and there was so many challenges around that. My children have struggled through that decision, and so many times you wonder in life, okay, have I made the right decisions? You try to make the right decisions when challenges come your way, but it is amazing when you follow your heart in the leading that God places on your heart, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of times. And that is kind of my journey. I have had so many challenges that I wished that I had people that could have helped coach me through those times. And I'm not saying that there has not been anyone that has been there, because I have definitely reached out and there have been women that have helped me. But my goal has always been that I never wanted to waste what I learned through my challenges, that I always wanted to be able to reach back and help other women that were going through challenging times, because it can be so lonely when you're going through challenging times. So, you ask, how do I stay so positive in times like these? And what I can tell you is I know that I have been placed here for such a time as this. Mm-hmm. And so every single morning when I wake up, I many times I have to remind myself, Marie, you were born for such a time as this.
I love that. Marie, that is, you should be a poet. That is so poetic and it's so heartfelt. And, and that's part of our mission, to encourage, and you are an encourager, and I appreciate that. But in the midst of your, you've had so many things. You lost your business. You got a divorce after 18 years. You and I share a lot of things in common, and the divorce is one of them. But even in the midst of that, you saw joy, you saw peace, you saw purpose. So tell our audience, what gives you a sense of purpose?
Wow. So what I can tell you is that I have purpose on my back. And what I mean by that is when I told you that I know that I know that I know that I was placed here for such a time as this. I know that I am here to reach back and help other women through challenging times. I know that I am here to pass out hope. I know that I am here to let women know it's not always going to be this hard. Things do change. It does get better, but it definitely takes a lot of inner work and determination, and doing the hard work of working on yourself to be able to find that peace and joy in every single day in the midst of every single challenge.
Absolutely. And I love that, and especially since we've been going through the pandemic and even before the pandemic, people live, even before we got in the pandemic, people live behind the mask. So we just haven't just started wearing masks. They just became visible.
Oh, so
So
true.
how are you able to be so transparent? Because I feel like when you're saying you're helping women, and that's my calling as well, people hide. They always hide behind the mask. And now we can see them visibly. But what makes you be so transparent? Because through your transparency, that helps a woman go on. And you have a saying that I love, and I wrote it down. You said, it's time to thrive, not just survive. So 2 questions. How are you able to be transparent? And I love the saying, thrive and not just survive. Just talk to our audience a little bit about that.
So I'm going to tell you a story real quick about, so when I was going through some very, very challenging times, I remember going to church and sitting in church and looking around at what looked to me like all these perfect families. The hair was just right. The makeup was just right. The clothes were perfect. And they had their kids all set up in the seat just perfectly. And I remember sitting there, my marriage was on the rocks. I mean, I was facing all kinds of challenges with my kids. And I felt like have you ever seen a duck on a pond? And when the duck is swimming, they look so peaceful and they look, so perfect and so serene sitting on that pond. Yet underneath the surface, they are paddling like hell to stay afloat. And that literally described me sitting in that pew at church. As I had the makeup, I had the hair, I had my family sitting there. Anybody else looking on would have been like, oh my gosh, that is the perfect family. And I was paddling like hell to stay afloat. And I'll never forget when I got brave enough to share with a small group of women what I was truly going through. And every single woman broke down and cried and said, oh my God, let me tell you what I'm going through. And it took one woman being bold enough to be transparent and say, you know what? I don't have it all together. I feel like my life's fallen apart. This is where I'm at. For everybody else to feel like they were safe enough to get real. And that's where it all began. My love, my passion for transparency. I'm like, cut to the chase, tell me the truth. You can only deal with the truth. You can't deal with all the facades.
Absolutely. I'm about to be emotional because that's the kind of way my life was. If you look from the outside, I have a friend that says you can only see a person's front door. And I coined that phrase because that's all you see. You can only see what I present. And I lived that same kind of life. No one saw what was behind the front door. Mm-hmm. And if you looked at us, you said, oh, what a perfect little family, which it was not a perfect little family, lived in hell. And when I became liberated enough, and that was through counseling, I am an advocate for counseling, ladies.
I agree.
So through counseling, I began to heal. And this is where my segue to you. You have a business and a ministry called Healing Waters. Yes. Please let us know, how did that come about? The name, of course, we know the struggles. And mm-hmm. also, what was your biggest challenge that you had to overcome?
Oh, Sharita, my biggest challenge that I have ever had to overcome in my life was myself.
Lord,
I had to overcome my fears, my insecurities. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I had to overcome my thoughts. I had to overcome my beliefs. The biggest challenge I've ever overcome is myself. And I realize I'm with you that I think counseling, therapy, life coach, all of those things have been extremely instrumental in my life to bring me to where I'm at today. So I'm a very avid advocate for all of those things as well. And I think at certain times of your life, you need any one of those. Sometimes you need all three. It just depends upon what you're going through. But Healing Waters, there's something very healing about the sound of water. And if you ever have gone to the ocean and you have stood there and just listened to the waves coming in on the shore, there is something about water to me that is so healing. And that is where the name Healing Waters actually came from, is just the healing that I find through water. And so, here is my vision for Healing Waters and where Healing Waters is going, that it is a safe place. It is a safe community for women to come and be transparent, where they can lock arms with other women going through challenging times in their lives, and that we can encourage and pass out hope to each other, where we know that we're no longer alone. We are a tribe Absolutely. Of women that are healing together.
Absolutely. And I felt that in my spirit, again, just being in your, like I said, in your presence. I miss that because you're so uplifting. And I know that there's a lot of women, our viewers out there that are struggling, yes, who have some of the same challenges, whether it's with their marriage, their business, their stress, COVID-19, depression, all of those things. If yes. you are suffering from any of those things, please reach out to Marie, or you can follow Marie. Marie, if you would just give your website so that people can know how to contact you. Absolutely. And we're going to go to break after that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can reach out to me by email at Marie Groves, that's MarieGroves at healingwaters.info. Or you can reach out to me. I'll give you my personal Facebook page is Marie Kennedy Groves. You can join me on Facebook. My Instagram handle is World Changer for Life.
Well, Marie, we want to thank you, and we will be right back.
80% of women will develop a pelvic health condition at some point in their lives. There is relief. There is hope. The Pelvic Floor Store, your resource for personal health.
Welcome back. I am excited because one of my long friends is coming back to the station, and we are so excited to have Maria Grover back on WYTV7. She is going to be airing on Mondays at noon. So please, please tune in because you will never be the same. Your waters were going rough, but now they will be healed on Healing Waters. So please help me welcome back to the show, Marie Groves. Marie, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, before we went to break, you were talking about Healing Water being a safe place. And I want to start a segue that opened a segue for me, because when you think about the struggle that women are having, and men have them too, but we're concentrating right now on women. But when you think about the struggles that women have, especially about being transparent, but one thing you said Healing Water is a safe place. Mm-hmm. And that rang a home to me, because that's what you want. You know, if you think about Maslow hierarchy of needs, safety is one of those needs that we need. And with America going through so much with this pandemic, you know, stress, losing their jobs, you need a safe place. So how can you, through your ministry, help women feel safe? Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. So I think that, and I can only speak for me and what I know. I know for me, and from hundreds of other women, thousands probably at this point, that I have talked to, it is very easy for us when we're going through hard times or challenging times. It's very easy for us to want to hide away until it's over. And honestly, Sabrina, I really think that social media has made this almost 50 times worse, because what happens in today's time is we can be going through something very hard. We can be going through a very challenging time. So all we have to do is pick up our phone and start scrolling social media. And we start comparing ourselves with everything that we're seeing. And of course, people putting their best life out there. And we may be going through a hard time. We may be feeling bad. Now we're going to feel worse because we're going to buy into that lie that this is only me. Look at everybody else out there living their best life. They have it together. Look how beautiful they are. Look at their kids. Look at their gorgeous marriage, all of this stuff. And we will go inward even more, and we want to hide away until the storm passes, until the waters are not so rocky. And then we're going to, we're back to our beautiful selves again, where we can show everybody how awesome we are. I feel like that is extremely unhealthy, and that is where people get stuck. And having a safe place is where people can come together, women can come together, and they can say, here I am with all my imperfections. I'm perfectly imperfect. And that we can learn how to embrace our imperfections, our imperfect lives. We can laugh at each other and ourselves so that we don't take our situations so seriously. And it's just safe. We no longer feel this isolation, because that is exactly when we get isolated and we feel alone. That's when everything else will start piling in on top of us. But that safe place is when you can say, I'm a mess. My life is a mess. This is what's going on. And you know that you are not going to be judged. You're going to be loved no matter what your past has been, no matter what your present is, and no matter what your dreams are for the future.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said living your best life. That's on everything. That's on the t-shirt, that's on the cuff, that's on the billboard. Everywhere you go, I'm living my best. They even have a song, Living Your Best Life. And I have no qualms with that. I hope everybody's living their best life. But in the midst of living your best life, there is trials and tribulation. There is mountaintops, there are valleys, and people, it's okay. People don't think it's okay because all you hear is living my best life. Like you said, social media has coined that. People are so afraid to say, you know what, I am in a valley, I need some help. But it brings me back to in our earlier years with Lyft, and I want you to talk about that just a little bit. You had a mantra, dancing in the rain. Would you share with our viewers a little bit about that?
So I told you about the analogy of the duck on the water. And I remember when I had shared that analogy with a group of women, a small group of women, that's how I felt. I felt like I was this duck on the lake, that what everybody saw on the outside was perfect, serene, but I was paddling like hell underneath to stay afloat. And so many people came forward and just started sharing stuff with me and saying, well, now that you've shared that, let me share this. And so I started a women's group. It started out in the living room of my home at one of the darkest times of my life, of just women coming together to be transparent. And so we had a phrase. It was we named that women's ministry LIFT, which stood for Ladies in Fellowship Together. It outgrew my living room very quickly because more and more women were drawn to just the transparency and being real. But one of the phrases, I guess, that we used for that ministry was, don't wait for the storm to pass, but learn to dance in the rain. And that was where that phrase came from about dancing in the rain. Was we were a group of women that we refused to wait for the storm to pass, but we were going to learn together how to dance in the rain. And boy, did we do it.
Absolutely. And it's okay to cry. It is completely okay to have a meltdown. It's okay to cry. You are not alone. Isolation is only in the mind, and that's where Satan tries to defeat, so many women. So Marie, are you going to be doing any workshops coming up this season? WYTV7, for all our viewers who don't know, we are going to have a Valentine's workshop. It's for women only. So fellas, you send your wife, send your girlfriend, send your significant other. It's going to be called Rock the Bedroom. Fellas, send your wives. You won't regret it. It's going to be a fun and educational workshop, and it's going to be on Valentine's Day. And if our viewers would like to be a part of the workshop, they can go to WYTV7.org to find out more about it. But Marie, will you be doing some workshop with Healing Waters?
Absolutely. I am definitely going to be doing workshops. They're going to be targeted mostly for women. But I am going to be doing some workshops around a lot of different areas that I'm very passionate about. And, one of those areas is how to begin to do the work on yourself. Because like you said, it's okay to have a meltdown. There's nothing wrong in that. That is human. We all do it. We just cannot unpack our bags and stay there. Absolutely. So teaching women how to allow themselves to feel all the feels, but then how to feel all the feels, sort those out, and how to repack their bag to move forward and not camp out there. That's going to be one of the things. The other thing I'm very passionate about is having a workshop to help single moms that are going through challenging times trying to be a single mom, because that is tough and I have lived it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is a very tough place to live. Coming back to WYTV7 again, I'm so excited, and our viewers will be equally excited. Who is your targeted audience and why?
So my targeted audience is women, beautiful women that are beat down by life. Because we all have been there. We're all there from time to time, whether it's a bad day, whether it's a bad hour, whether it's a bad year. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that would look on the past couple of years that we've been through and just say, last year sucked. And that's okay. That's a larger majority. And that is my targeted audience right now, is women that have just been beat down by life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How to learn how to thrive and not just survive.
I love it. Again, I'm going to share something else that you and I have in common. That's Jeremiah 29:11. For God, has plans for our lives and plans to prosper in the future. So what should we expect as an audience from your broadcast, Healing Waters? We already know that you're an encourager. We already know that you're an educator. And that's part of the mission for WYTV7. So what can we expect on noon on Mondays?
So noon on Mondays is going to be a whole lot of realness, a lot of laughter and fun. I love to just enjoy life, and I love laughter. So we're going to learn how to laugh. We're going to learn how to, like we talked about, dance in the rain. Yes, we're going to be encouraged, but also be prepared to be challenged, because that's the only way we're going to grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for 2022, our slogan is I'm trying. So I'm trying for 2022. So what is Maria Groves trying to do for 2022?
I am trying to take as many women that choose to join me on this journey from surviving to thriving in 2022.
I love it. Now, can you tell us, go ahead and give us your contact information again.
Sure.
And so that the thriving women can do more than survive.
That's exactly right, because there is more within all of you. All of you have this innate desire to thrive. And if you feel like you are just surviving right now, let's lock arms and let's walk 2022 together. You can reach me through email at mariegroves@healingwaters.info. You can also reach out to me and join me on my personal Facebook page, which is Marie Kennedy Groves. And on Instagram, I'm World Changer Forever.
I love it. So Marie, we would like to, as a organization with WYTV7, we're excited that you're coming back. Our audience needs to stay tuned for greatness, because that's what you present. You present a spirit of excellence, and I love that. You are an encourager. I love that, and I know that our audience will enjoy it as well. So I would like to say I'm excited again that you are coming back with Healing Waters on Monday at noon, and I would like to thank WYTV7 for this platform, for letting me do what I do. And Maria, I would like to thank you for letting your story become a part of my story on What's Your Story. And I would like to thank our audience for tuning in. And I would like to thank our audience for, being faithful, giving donations, and if you do want to donate, you can go to WYTV7.org. That's how we're able to put on these wonderful broadcasts each and every week. So we do appreciate your donations to WYTV7.org. And also remember, in February, we are having a seminar for women only called Rock the Bread Room. So men, please send your wives, send your girlfriends, send your mom, send anybody that you know, female, that would enjoy to be educated and to be encouraged. And that's part of WYTV7 mission. I'm Sharita Williams, the host of What's Your Story? And I would like to thank my long friend, Marie Grove, for coming back to be a part of the platform of WYTV7. So Maria, we thank you from WYTV7.org.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.